loosen up a little bit. See that tip in my hand. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Malik Hodge, an injured warrior of the Midwest and a messenger of the covenant, representing the messenger of the covenant, the breaker of the seven seals, the self-taught one, Master Suleiman, who's given us the Injil, the gospel of revelations, with the Injil key that gives us the understanding of the unsealed scriptures. This is Up Late with Malik Hodge, a nightly news that where I take current events and give understanding from a unsealed scripture perspective, or through the lens of the Injil, the unsealed scriptures. And tonight we're going to I did want to say this. I'm going to be posting this presentation on Facebook. However, we might be moving the program back to Facebook as well as YouTube, depending on the equipment that we have can handle both recordings and or maybe go back, because a few people, viewers that asking about it and missing the broadcast, so we might go back to the Facebook platform. And let's get started for tonight. And let's begin with the Greenwood Park Mall shooting. Another mass shooting, which could have been a lot worse. The Greenwood police shared that a shooter entered into the mall's what's that called? The mall's area where their food court, into their food court area. I took out a assault rifle, and began shooting. He shot altogether, they're saying, he shot 5 people, and what stopped the shooting, because the police said he had several loaded magazines, so he had plenty of firepower as he came into the mall. However, they're saying that a good Samaritan, someone with a conceal and carry, who had a legal carrier's license happened to have their weapon on them and took down the shooter. So there were a total of 4 dead and 2 what that is including the active shooter, and 2 were in the hospital with injuries. They hadn't shared the seriousness of the injuries. However, another shooting has taken place, and it's an event that is happening like a trending of events, and they haven't they haven't given any information out on the shooter. And then kept that transparent as well to who the shooter is. However, this is a reoccurring event that is happening in America often, more often than usual. So this is like it's occurring. This occurrence is happening like right now, once a week, twice. I mean, it's coming. It's starting to happen that often. So, in that, just to there was another mass attempt or attempt on that they thwarted in Tennessee at a Young Gotti's the rapper Young Gotti concert or birthday bash, that they had reports of a suspected shooter. They went and arrested him. So he was to go, and he was going to take up a position and shoot to kill patrons of the birthday bash or concert as they exited the building. All this to say that this pressure, as you are noticing, is building up and causing people's minds to, they're the individuals that are doing these mass shootings. And if you don't, these mass shootings is not being done by black men. It's taking place. It's happening by their own people. The pressure, if you notice, is building. Is so intense that they are blowing off just by killing, becoming so angry that they're prepared to go out in a blaze or to kill others to relieve the pressure or so what. However, excuse me, it, excuse me. However, you're seeing it more um, often, often than usual, because of this, because of the time, the situation is that the pressure is building. Um, is there anything else I want to? Hmm. I'll leave that there. If there's anything else I want to add to that topic, I'll come back to it. Right now, I'm gonna move on to the next topic, and that is okay. Our next topic. Now, this next topic is let's go into, we're going to speak about, okay, this topic is on Biden's trip to the Middle East, and it's a timely thing that has happened, that we need to cover, that I didn't speak on yesterday, last night. So Joe Biden, President Joe Biden, said and after being addressed, after speaking to Saudi Arabia and other Arab nations and false Israel, after having his, after going through his Middle East visit or tour or whatnot, the president, made it known that America is not, now see, this is something that we have to share. America will not walk away from the Middle East. Now, mind you, Trump was bringing out the troops. President Biden has saying he was bringing out the troops. America was exiting the Middle East. However, now President Biden has stood up and said that America interest in the Middle East is valuable to the safety and the coming together of the Arab nations, or the Middle Eastern of the nations in that area and that are making um, alliances and um, with false Israel, and also coming together peacefully to um, squashing their religious differences and coming together to do business and to make the region stronger. So President Biden said because of that, American has one committed and shared that America has renewed its vows with false Israel and has renewed its interest with Saudi Arabia and the Middle East. So what's needed from Saudi Arabia, America must carry out and keep its safety keep it safe, keep Saudi Arabia safe. And because of the interest that they have, the new, or not the new, but the, yes, however, the interest that America has in the Middle East, they're not going to pull out and allow, quote, Russia, China, or any other nations to come in and take part or disrupt or whatever of the Middle East. So America's shared, the president shared with the world that America is not pulling out of the Middle East. They're staying there, and they're committed in making or keeping their bond and ties and with these countries, and they're committed in keeping it safe. And what more that they're sharing, keeping it safe, and they're not going anywhere. So when you hear that, you have to know that, for one, okay, America is in Syria. They're not wanted there. Syria is a sovereign country. These other countries that America are drilling, stealing oil, or have, they're out to get more oil production out of the Middle Eastern states or countries. So take note, hold that thought, that the president, Joe Biden, said America's not leaving. Their interest in the Middle East is is it must be the interest has to be greatly needed, because America said their interest is the reason why they're staying. So it's a very um needed area or concern um spot, because until that announcement, America was supposed to be, you know, since Trump's days and since Biden got in, America was pulling out of the Middle East. And after the debacle in Afghanistan, and a few months ago, or America was pulling out of Saudi Arabia, and they was taking troops home, taking troops out of the Middle East. But that's not the case now. So I just had to bring that up, and and let that be known. So when we run back, and excuse me. Matter of fact, I'm going to speak on that. Now, so what does that mean? America's not pulling out the Middle East. America said they're staying. They're not allowing. They're not going to allow Russia to move in and take control, or dictate how things move in the Middle East. They're not going to let China do it. So America is placing themselves in the Middle East. America's placed itself in dictating or intervening in the Russia and Ukraine. So they're not pulling out. So that just further confirms that if America is saying they're not pulling out the Middle East, then you know they're going to have to commit more soldiers and military presence in the Middle East. So to understand what is that saying, with their placing, going to have to place more military and soldiers and presence in the Middle East, and at the same time they're sharing that they're going to thwart and made a covenant to keep Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon. And if Iran doesn't go back into the JCPOA, that America enforce Israel and these Arab alliances, the Saudi Arabia and other Arab nations, 6 other Arab nations that have made an agreement or alliance with false Israel, especially those that are up under this Abraham Accord. So America is not leaving the Middle East anymore, stated by the president. So you know this, that their military presence, they have to make a larger military presence. But the war, the declaration of this war, in that it also requires America to have more of a military presence in the Middle East, especially with what's taking place with America, because they're not wanted in Syria where they're at, and they're not wanted in certain parts. So they have been attacked. They have been being attacked. So this is just letting you know that America is about to have to send troops. So to keep you up in a thinking, in a mind zone of how it's taking place, the commitment to the Middle East, the commitment to false Israel, to thwart Iran's nuclear program, look where this is going. America said they're not leaving the Middle East, and they said they're going to commit and stay, meaning they're going to have to send troops, and they're going to protect their interests in the Middle East with military assistance. So you read between the lines, what is that saying? America is prepared to go to war in the Middle East with false Israel, and they're prepared to go to war in protecting their interests in the Middle East. So now the stage is, really coming out, really being set, because I'm going to leave that there. Keep that in mind. Now, I'm going to go to this breaking news report that came from what I want to say, I'm going to call it a reliable source. It's not a known newscast for everyone that knows. However, this newscast is a private newscast, or independent newscast. Let's say it like that. An independent newscast. And his breaking news report, which I did, look into it, and it is true. However, this breaking news: Iran declares it can now produce a nuclear bomb Iran has shared it can produce a nuclear bomb. This was today, July 17th. This was shared by a senior official of senior advisor to Al Jazeera, this advisor uh, Kamel uh, Karazi, he's a senior advisor, and he shared that Iran was able to produce uranium up to 60% in just a few days, and can easily produce 90% uranium. And shared that Iran has the technical means or ability to produce the bomb. So Iran has came out and shared that yes, we have the means to produce a bomb. We have produced uranium up to 60% in a few days, and if we wanted to produce 90% produce some 90% uranium, we can do that as well, because Iran has the technical means and ability to do so. However, but they have not decided. Iran have not decided. He said, but we have not decided if, not yet, if we're going to make a bomb or go that direction. And also shared, this is Iran speaking. This is a senior official. Shared that, and in future talks, if any future talks with nations, and any nation and America, that Iran's ballistic missiles program is not even up for discussion. So they're not even if whatever conversation this comes up, their ballistic missile program is not even part of discussion. They're not discussing that at all. So no matter who comes and say what, they're not going to discuss their ballistic missile program. And it was shared that if there's any future talks, that's nuclear program, JCPOA talks. So as you see, it can't get any more hotter. The writing is on the wall. You just have to use your mind to see what's taking place. And the thing about that is, there's onlookers in Biden's party, in that Democratic Party, um, the Republican Party, the Senate, and the um, citizens in inside of America, outside of America, and they're watching Joe Biden and his motion, and watching his conversation. Then they're really becoming more and more concerned with Joe Biden's cognizy. They're saying that he's really he has dementia or Alzheimer, Parkinson. Something is taking place. His age has caught up with him, and his cognizy is just not there, and his weakness and the way he looks, that his demeanor is not bringing security and hope in the minds of the people, not in America nor abroad. So they're hearing, and there was also saying, well, what he's saying is, that's why they're saying that this can't be a bluff. You can't be bluffing with these people. You can't be bluffing with Iran. You have to make moves. We have to make moves. They're saying they have to make moves and make them quick. So they have a doctor, the same doctor that I believe they had checking out Trump. His name was Ronnie Jackson. And he's sharing that Biden's progressive illness is causing this cognitive decline, his cognitive decline, and it can be seen, just watching on. However, America, in other words, appear to be weak, or the looks, because the commander-in-chief doesn't, speak with authority, and he's cognitive, he's disoriented, he's suffering from Alzheimer, or he's not, he doesn't even walk with, he walks like he needs somebody to take his hand when he's walking. He's walking on tiptoes, like he's going to just fall over or something, get blowed away. So they're saying this is Biden prepared mentally to make the proper decisions at the proper time? And is America leader prepared to do what's needed to be done at the proper time. So what's being shared is, if you look on to everything, we're gonna bring it all together now. They're not leaving the Middle East now. They've been pulling out the Middle East for the last 2-3 years now. Making pull out. They've been coming out. They pulled out of Afghanistan, that debacle. So they were pulling out. Now, one day, he shares that he's making this Jerusalem declaration to thwart Iran from having nuclear weapons. America has renewed its vows to the state of Israel, or false Israel, and that they are closer than bone, whatever that means. That's his take on it, that America and Israel is closer than bone, and they've renewed their vows. Then in the next day, 2 days later, Friday, Biden shares that America is not leaving the Middle East, that they're committed and their interests in the Middle East must be protected, and they're staying to protect their interests in the Middle East. So they're going to have to bring a military presence, a bigger military presence there. Their interests, he said, they're not leaving. They're preparing. They're going to go. You got to read through the lines. Through all. They're preparing for. They're going to thwart Iran. Iran has came out and said they have enriched uranium to 60% and can enrich uranium to 90%. They haven't decided yet to prepare a bomb. However, they have the technology now to achieve the making of the bomb. And a note to the world and America that when and if there's any talks that their ballistic missiles program is not even going to be in the discussion. They're not discussing their ballistic missile program at all. So whatever they're doing with their ballistic missiles is on them, and no one's going to change how they're controlling their their ballistic missile program. So letting it be known that the capability of producing a bomb, they have it. Would we, if we haven't made that decision as of yet? However, we have the technology. What day will this war, the abomination of desolation, what day will this war kick off? Because if you're reading between the lines, it's an inevitable situation. Because it's not going to be, it's not a talk out scenario now. It's some strong words being shared that are going to end up with some consequences, and the consequence is military action. So just bringing this in a full circle, giving it to you from the standpoint of the unsealed scriptures. Everything to the igniting of this war in the Middle East between Michael and his angels and the dragon and his angels have been laid out. The dragon and his angels have assembled. This is what you're witnessing. The dragon and his angels assembling. America, Britain, Britain's in you don't hear it, but Britain was shared in they were put into the conversation and is in the conversation from, there's only one other nation that is closer or have a close relation as false Israel, when America said they're renewing their vows. There's only one other country that is close as false Israel is to America, and that nation is Britain. So Britain is going to move and is America's ally, number one ally, period. So we know that. So when we're looking on, you say this meeting, this trip was a trip, and the president made it clear what the unsealed scriptures is sharing, that the unification of the dragon and his angels was secure. They have shared that the security, the unification of the dragon and his angels have been made. So Michael and his angels, which is Master Fraud Muhammad, Iran and Syria, witnessing what's taking place. No one's, They invented chess. But not only did they come out and say we can do we have and can produce a bomb. Vladimir is due to travel to Iran in the next day or so, sometime this week. The unsealed scripture, we have been sharing what the events in this JCPOA, how it was a trigger to the war, the abomination of desolation that will be taking place, the war in heaven that will be taking place in the Middle East. And everything has lined up. The players have made their move. The leaders have united. The dragon, America, Britain, false Israel, and all those that are with them have shared, have aligned together in the past week and let the world know. And Biden has made a petition on the grounds of staying to protect America's interests in the Middle East. So, when we share with you that the unsealed scripture is letting you know that this war in the Middle East between Michael and his angels that will be against the dragon and his angels, you have seen the unification, and the unification of the dragon and his angels have been clarified openly. So this war that is any day away, any moment, is going to take place, and the outcome of this war is going to be the House of Assad taken out, America and Britain is going to be kicked out the Middle East, false Israel is going to be sieged and then destroyed. Those other that had made a covenant against the Abraham covenant, against in this accord of the Abraham Accord, these nations that have made an alliance with Satan will also get what is due to them. This is the outcome of what's going to take place. And this is the truth that comes from the unsealed scriptures, the Injil, that have been spoken far before these conditions have got to this point. I've been speaking on it since 2020. Master Suleiman, the breaker of the seven seals, the self-taught one, Joshua, the Son of Man, has been speaking on this for 30 years. Directing and showing and presenting the angel key, showing you on the angel key mathematically of what's taking place and how it's going to take place. Now, mind you, wasn't anyone speaking on this JCPOA, this war that was going to take 6 months ago? Wasn't anyone speaking on it? Louis Line Eugene Grounds, Farrakhan, Louis Farrakhan, in his camp, Silas in his camp, the Hebrew Israelites, the preachers, nobody is bringing you the absolute and the understanding of the scriptures, and through the scriptures, unsealed scriptures, and showing you what's taking place in the real world that is happening in real time. Giving you the understanding of what's happening in the world and causing it, and what's causing this to happen. What's behind this? The Abrahamic covenant. So when you look at all these things, you know that this is being caused by the vision of the Abrahamic covenant. False Israel is being taken down. All these things is happening because of this covenant, the Abrahamic covenant. But you will be able to see this after the outcome is what it is, because it's going to be the shock of the hour. You're not going. It's going to be how it's going to look just as ignorant to in the minds of the people is the shooting with the children, which how baffling can one go in there and shoot children, and the ones that's supposed to be protecting them, police officers, and they outside scared to go in, looking around, waiting on orders. This is how silly and useless America is going to look, because they're not going to. They could think that America's military is all this, and Britain is all this, and they're unstoppable, and they're going to go in and take down Iran and Syria, and just, we're not going anywhere. We're going to protect our interests. So that's what's shared. So when you see this, that's the abomination of desolation. It's right in your face. What we've been sharing for years is right in your face. It's to be dealt with. All these things that I'm sharing with you, this is what all the newscasts is sharing. It's live and direct. It's the truth. You can't hide. It's coming more and more into vision, and you see that the dragon and his angels have united. So the uniting of the dragon and his angels, the war can take place tonight, can start tonight, or tomorrow night, or in the next 10 minutes or 2 minutes. Any moment this war is going to go. It's going to kick off. You have to, if you in your mind zone, you see everything that's taking place and laid out to you. And I'm definitely laying it out to you, because you wouldn't even be seeing it from the unsealed scriptures perspective of who the dragon and his angels are. And it's being laid out to you and showed to with direct declarations and statements from the United States presidents. We've renewed our vows. We declare that we're standing with false Israel to thwart off Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons. America's not leaving the Middle East, or America's interests in the Middle East. We're going to secure our interests in the Middle East and protect our interests. And we're not leaving. We're not handing over anything to Russia, China, or any nations that think they're going to come in and disturb the progress or anything that's taking place with this alliance and these states and countries. Right in your face. The unification that they have made in your face is the dragon and his angels making that a whole statement of their unification in the view of the world. And the beast is standing up and declaring his that he's going what he's going to do. So let me check our okay. So let me see what else I had. I had another topic. However, due to time, I'm going to have to bring this to a close, and we'll bring that topic out tomorrow night. The abomination of desolation, brothers and sisters. This we're in it. The prayers is right in your face. The agreements have been signed, sealed and delivered. They're letting you know. When you see this, know that we've shared it with you, and prepare, because it's about to take place any day, any moment. So the abomination of desolation, the shock of the hour is going to shock the world. The outcome is going to shock the world. And this is all taking place because of you, brothers and sisters. It's taking place from the consequences of the Holocaust, the consequences of being afflicted here for 400 plus years. So This is the judgment. This is why these things are taking place. You, the true seed of Abraham, the black man and woman of America, is the reason that what's taking place is taking place, and that the messenger of the covenant, the breaker of the seven seals, has broke the seals and given you the angel, which is definitely bringing in this Abrahamic vision, the vision of Abraham, the messenger of the covenant, and those that are with him. Due to time, I'm going to wrap this up. Keep your mind on that Holocaust. It's not critical race theory that they're trying to make it. It's horror and terror of 466 years, 24/7, 365, that the black man and woman has experienced by the hands of America. Murdered, burnt, beheaded, strangled, raped, sodomized, hung, lynched, dehumanized. And it's not slavery that we went through. It was terror and horror. Slavery was about 10% of what we went through, and slavery is minimum overhead for maximum profit. And they gave us the trash, the shitterlings, the gizzards, the bad, the bad parts of the corn, and stalks of the corn, bad parts of the wheat, the tar, and blended and poured it in troughs and fed you like an animal. So it's not critical race theory. We're not going to let them get away with that as well. Keep this from the forefront of your mind. That horror and terror that we experience is a part in the consequence for that is what is causing, is what America, this time of unprecedented trouble. We've been through basically a time of unprecedented torment and horror. So this time of unprecedented trouble is a consequence, so it's going to be worse than what happened to the black man and woman. It's unprecedented. So with that, I'm going to end this. Thank you for watching. Catch you tomorrow. And greet you in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum.